Across the country, tens of thousands of kids supposedly in state care run away every year. I'm Tisha Powell.
And I'm Lee Zurich. Children are usually placed under the care of the state because of a difficult situation at home or a mental health crisis. But we found those tasked with ensuring their well-being often fall short. A federal audit conducted in 2023 estimated close to 35,000 cases were never reported to the federal government as required by law. In the same year, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children says they were aware of more than 22,000 cases of children who were missing from a state's care. The experts we spoke to say kids who run away frequently become victims of sex trafficking or they're never found.
Investigative reporter Lauren Traeger takes an in-depth look at this crisis in St. Louis through the eyes of a concerned mom who believes the system is not just failing, but it's putting her daughter's life in danger. And we've chosen to change her daughter's name to protect her identity.
A teenager now, but to a mother, they are a baby always. The smiles and silliness of childhood, sidewalk chalk, fishing on a chilly day.
My daughter is amazing. She loves to draw, loves to sing. I want to be a fashion designer.
But at 13, Jane started to change.
Not being able to focus, not going to school, running away, doing drugs.
Diagnosed with multiple severe mental health disorders, when not on proper medication, Jane, her mom Kiara says, could hurt, steal, and disappear for days at a time.
In 2 years, my daughter has had upwards of maybe 14 hospital stays because she'll go for 10 days and get stable.
But Kiara says inpatient facilities told her beds were reserved for kids already in state custody.
She needs residential help. We're not equipped.
So she made the difficult decision earlier this year to place her now 16-year-old daughter in the protective custody of the state.
And that was a sword I was willing to throw myself on if that meant that now she's in custody, that she would be placed in a facility that could help her. But that didn't happen.
Instead, Kiara says the state agency, Children's Division, whose sole job it is to protect kids, isn't protecting Jane.
Since she's been in the custody of the state, how many times has she run away?
5. Well, if you say you're going to protect them, then protect them.
The problem, she says, is that Children's Division won't or can't find a proper secure placement for her. Last month, state workers took Jane back to a non-secure shelter from which she'd previously run away. She took off again, this time gone for nearly 2 weeks. Caseworkers didn't even seem to be searching, Kiara says, so she hunted Jane down instead.
When I seen her, she had on a little bitty skirt, with fishnet stockings and a crop top. So I knew what they had been doing with my daughter for 12 days. And she looked so out of it. You know, she hasn't had any meds. She's been living in a vacant house. But I got her.
But Children's Division again did not take her to an inpatient facility. Instead, our cameras caught the moment Kiara dropped off clothes and hugged her daughter outside state offices in North County, right before a state caseworker took Jane to a hotel. And again, she ran away.
Do you think this is a big problem?
It's absolutely a problem. I mean, we're seeing it every day. Sadly, it's not a surprise in the work that we do.
Amy Robbins with the Children's Advocacy Center of Greater St. Louis says the numbers of children that run away from state custody are concerning.
Absolutely. Those are our most vulnerable kids. They needed protection, which led to them being in state custody to begin with.
We pulled the most recent data. The Children's Division says in the month of May 2024, 90 children were in runaway status, 37 of them, or 41%, from the St. Louis region. Those numbers ticking up since the start of the year. But Robin says recent research proves the data isn't even reliable.
There aren't good measures. There's not a good way to track this consistently across the state of Missouri.
But the potential harm that could come to those children on the run, she says, is real. 1 in 6 runaways becomes a victim of sex trafficking.
Our perpetrators are seeking them out, and absolutely they are identifying those who would make a good victim for them, and unfortunately these kids are very high risk for that.
Now she's victimized all over again. That's a crime. in itself.
State Senator Carla May says she knows Jane, but she didn't know the full extent of the problem until we told her the numbers.
She's in jeopardy. Who's going to be responsible if this young lady is trafficked, killed, raped? What? Who takes that responsibility? She's in the care of the state.
The situation bringing her to tears.
It's heartbreaking. But we got to be responsible.
We wanted to talk to the Department of Social Services over the Children's Division, but they declined our request for an interview. They also said they couldn't talk about Jane specifically, but in a statement said the department, quote, employs multiple strategies to locate missing children and prevent known runaways from absconding again. They confirmed they have hired 4 new investigators for the St. Louis region, tasked with focusing on preventative measures, locating missing children swiftly, and working closely with law enforcement and community resources to ensure the safety and well-being of these children. Still, in their statement, they don't deny there is a problem, writing, there is acknowledgement of an ongoing crisis with runaways in the St. Louis region. Children's Division is actively seeking solutions to mitigate this issue.
It is their responsibility, and we have to figure it out. Why do we have this hole? How long has this hole existed?
Senator May wants answers, as experts say the department battles staffing shortages and a lack of residential placements for teens with mental health issues.
And I'm going to keep digging until I find the answer, because we can't have this happen to anybody.
Do you think the system failed your daughter?
Absolutely. My daughter will tell you herself, they don't care. They don't care.
Should children be running away from Child Protective Services? Should that be happening?
No. So you know that she has a history of running away and eloping in your custody a multitude of times. What precaution, don't you think you need to change up how you do things?
Kiera says her daughter was again found on the streets of St. Louis, this time with another young girl.
She's not going to take the meds, and she's just going to go off and let her untreated illness take her down whatever path.
In text messages, her daughter telling her she's now in somebody's house, a foster parent's. Mama, I love you, she writes.
Just keep her safe. Put her somewhere, get her some help. You know, you're the state, for God's sakes.
Experts in this area are concerned about the number of children in general that go missing from the state of Missouri, but they do note that there can be a disproportionate number of children of color that go missing. As for Jane, her mother says she has run away several more times from state care since our interview. Most recently, she was located in a hospital in Chicago. Her mother now hopeful she will get help, but is worried she will run away again. In St. Louis, I'm Lauren Traeger.